Hi, welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio and tonight's YouTube live event. My name is Lisa Curcio. Today is Wednesday, June 10th. The year is 2020. Whether you're joining me for the live or you are back here watching the replay, I am so glad that you're here with me. Thank you for joining me. My fun fold tonight has a beautiful accordion fold, and we're going to be using brand new products from the annual catalog. This catalog is just about 15 days old, and there are amazing products in it. I'm going to give you a good look at quite a few today. Today's card is lots of fun, easy measurements for you, but I'm going to walk you through the whole step. In addition to that, I have 7 other cards using this exact same suite of products to share with you tonight. Several of those cards, I should say the majority of those cards, are going to be part of this month's card making class, which is an online tutorial class that you can join me. So I'm going to make sure I go over that towards the end of the video, so stick with me. Also, you're going to be able to find the pictures and the cutting dimensions for tonight's card down in the video description below when the live is over. Give Megan and I a few minutes when we're finished to head over and put those links up for you. Also, a couple housekeeping items before we get started. The first is if you would like to chat during tonight's live, you will need to sign into your YouTube account, which is your Gmail address. That is a YouTube thing, not a Lisa thing, as well as those you watching the replay. To read the chat during the replay, you'll need to be signed in as well. And I'd like to introduce you to Megan. Megan's name is here in blue, and she's here to help answer your questions and interact with you because, quite frankly, there's no way that I can keep up while I'm trying to stamp. I do want you to know that every comment is answered after the replay is over so that you can go ahead and leave questions there. We'll make sure we get to every single one of those. I'm a little tongue-tied tonight. You guys got me all excited about this new product. How about we get started? If you'll give me a second, I'll turn the camera down and get you all zoomed in. Here we go. Okay, and then let me just get you zoomed in here so that you can see pretty good. All right, I think that's good. I think I got my other light on. No, I don't. I always like to give you the best light possible. I think that's a little bit better. Okay, we're going to start with the cutting dimensions and scoring dimensions of this accordion fold first. I'm not going to go through all the dimensions with you during the live because there are numerous and none of them are difficult. But for those of you that are trying to keep up with just watching, I find that it's challenging. Again, there's going to be a link down in the video description below that will lead you over to all of that. Just give me a few minutes when the live is over so I can get that up for you. This piece specifically, we're going to do some scoring on. This is 4¼ by 11. I am using soft suede cardstock, and to do my scoring, I'm going to be using my Stampin' trimmer. Now, one of the reasons I love this trimmer is because you've got both a scoring and a cutting blade. You can keep them on the track at the same time because they navigate up and down out of the way, so you can keep them both there nice and handy. The straight edge here at the top is going to ensure that your cardstock is nice and straight. These printed lines are here. They will not rub off. I mean, this trimmer has had thousands and thousands and thousands of cuts on it. The other thing I love about it is this. There's an extension arm that goes well past 17 inches here, which is going to allow us to make sure that we get all of our scoring dimensions done really easily in one full swoop. All right, so with my scoring blade all ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and put my paper in, and we're going to make that first score line at 3 inches. So I'm looking here, making sure it's straight across the top and the side, and I'm going to score at 3 inches. Now I'm going to move over to 5½ inches, which is here, and then we are going to score again. And then I'm going to move all the way over here to 8 inches, which is here. I'm trying to stay within your camera view. Bear with me. And then we'll score again. And the last one is at 9½ inches, which is here. I want to make sure that I'm as precise as I can. And then we'll score. That's it. There's no more scoring. Okay, that's all you need to do for this card. Now, one end of this cardstock, and I know that's going to be near impossible to see, is a little bit wider than the rest of the score lines. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here, and then we're going to accordion fold this. So it's going to be like a zigzag back and forth, and then you're going to have this piece here. So when you look at it, it looks like this. Now, whenever you're doing a fun fold card, I am going to encourage you to use your bone folder to go over those score lines so they can be nice and crisp because you want it to fold and lay as nicely as possible. And you're going to see I'm opening up everything and just going through there to make sure that it's all well flat as it can be. Let's put it that way. All right, I'm going to be using my silicone craft sheet to add my adhesive. and I've got my designer series paper panels already cut. Now I chose to do just 4 panels. You can do more, so please keep that in mind. You can customize this to look the way that you want. So let me grab my first piece. I put those off to the side. This is one side of the absolutely beautiful Flowers for Every Season Designer Series paper. I love this paper. Not only are there patterns that are generic that can be used for anything, there are beautiful floral patterns on the other side. I'm going to use this generic one for the first layer on this card here. So I'm going to turn this upside down. I'm going to add my adhesive to the back side here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this here. Now I don't do too many things straight. So I'm going to hold this paper horizontally to try to get it as even as I can. And then we'll attach that here. Now you could put a piece here. I chose not to, but I am going to put a piece here. So let me grab another layer of designer series paper. This is all from that exact same designer series paper stack. Isn't this beautiful? So I think I've given the hint away. We're going to be doing some sunflowers tonight. And then I'm going to add some adhesive here as well. Just going to work a little bit around those edges. And this piece is going to go here. Now, boy, I've learned the hard way. If your paper has a direction, make sure that you're looking to make sure it's going the right way. And then we're going to tack this down. I'm looking to leave a small margin. Now, next panel is here. I did decide to put one here and here. Again, it's not necessary, but I just wanted to show you as much of this beautiful paper as I can. Isn't this pretty? And again, double-sided. Lots of options here. This is going to be my wrong side for tonight. I'm going to add my adhesive. And then this panel, like I said, is going to go on this side. Again, looking to make sure this is going in the right direction. If you have paper that does have a direction, and we'll attach that. Now, I chose to put a small strip of designer series paper here because when this is all folded and put together on the card, it's going to be noticeable. You'll see what I mean in a minute. This is just a 1/2-inch strip. Again, there's my wrong side. I know, aren't these papers gorgeous? Oh, so pretty. The great thing about this paper stack too is you're going to find that it has holiday flowers in it too. So this is going to be a great product to use throughout the year. I'm going to use my silicone craft sheet here underneath me, so hopefully you can see a little bit better. A little challenging with that brown background and suede paper, isn't it? So I'm trying to get my head in your camera view to make that as straight as I can. All right, pretty good. Here is where we're going to add the insert panel or the inside of the card. So I've cut a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This is right before you joined me. And this is where I'm going to stamp my greeting. Now I'm going to reach over for my ink pad because I accidentally put it away. Here we go. I'm using soft suede. This is the beauty of Stampin' Up! Products is the color coordination. So the ink is going to match the cardstock that matches the colors in the designer series paper, the marker, the alcohol-based markers, and all the accessories. It makes creating super, super easy. I decided to make this one a get well card, but obviously you can make it whatever you want. This stamp actually comes from a new greeting set from the annual catalog called Many Mates. And I love it because there's greetings for both the inside and the outside of your card. You can see that it's very, very abundant. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up the get well. And I'm going to stamp that here near the top because I know this is a small layer. I want to make sure that I leave enough room so that you can sign it. Of course, put a sentiment on here. And I'm going to put that right off camera. This piece now is going to get adhered to the inside of my card. So I'm going to use my silicone craft sheet once again. Now, if you haven't watched any of my videos before, or even seen me live, you're going to know that I absolutely love this product because adhesive, liquid glue, and hot glue will not stick to it, which means your work surface is going to stay sticky free. And again, I'm going to go horizontally because can't do too many things straight. And I'm looking to line those up, and we'll attach that now to the inside. All right, that's all there is to this, okay? Now we're not done. We've got a bunch of steps to do. Super, super easy. It's about assembly now. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to bring in a piece of Whisper White cardstock that I've already pre-embossed before you joined me. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it, but I want to show you this embossing folder. This is brand new as well. This is called Tasteful Texture. Really subtle. I love it because it's for those great cards that you want a little bit of a texture to, but you don't want it to take away from the actual paper or the impressions on your stamp. Really, really pretty. So I'm going to add adhesive to the back side of here as well. You're going to want to make sure you don't press too hard with your adhesive because you don't want to deboss the front edge of your embossed paper. That's especially important if you're using deep impression embossing folders, which we call 3 deep folders. This is a coordinating piece of soft suede cardstock. that measures 4¼ by 5½. Believe it or not, this is actually going to be the base of the card where these pieces are going to fall. All right, so let's go ahead and let's add adhesive to the back side. I did use tearing tape originally, and I'm just going to go out there right now and tell you I've got a brand new adhesive that Stampin' Up came out with, and it's called Stampin' Seal Plus. Now, I love this for these really strong projects because obviously we've got quite a few layers here. I have a learning curve. I love it, but I have a learning curve. So I find that I have to kind of advance it a little bit when I get it started the first time. And then I'm going to place adhesive along the back side. Now, unlike other adhesives, you're going to find that this is very, very strong. So you don't have to use as much as you normally use because it really, really does the job. All right. And then this now is going to get adhered here to this layer. So let me go ahead and just close that up. And then we're going to attach that here in the center. Now you're probably wondering, how is all that going to keep from flopping? Well, that's a good question, but we're going to go through that step as well because we're going to add a band to this to hold the whole thing shut. Now, the band is actually going to become a decorative element on this card. So let's go ahead and make that next. This is actually 1½ by 9½ inches. I'll be honest with you, I hate scoring these things. It's really challenging for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to crease it. The biggest mistake you can make with a belly band, which is what we call this, is to make it too tight, which is going to make the receiver not be able to slip it on or slip it off. So let me give you some tips. I like to make sure that the back end is the pretty side because we're going to be able to hide these raw ends to the front underneath the embellishment that we're going to put here. So let's go ahead and just lay this down, and I'm just going to bend this, okay? And when I crease it, I'm not going to make it very, very tight. I'm just creasing it here. And then I'll bring this in as well, and I'll crease it. I am making sure that I've got some gap in here so that we can slide this on and off. Now I'm going to add some adhesive right here. Let me get my silicone craft sheet to do that job. This way, if it falls on my work surface, it'll only go here. And then we can go ahead and construct this. So let's close those panels. I'm going to put this in the center. And remember, as long as you don't make it too tight, you're going to be able to slide that belly band up and down without any problem whatsoever, okay? Now, keep in mind, as the cardstock gets conditioned, this is going to slide a lot easier. All right, so now we've got this. Let's decorate that. That's the best part. Let me grab some white cardstock here. This is thick whisper white cardstock. And for this, I decided to do some sunflowers to coordinate with that beautiful paper. And let me put that ink pad off to the side. I'm going to bring in my Memento black ink. And I'm going to zoom you in a little bit closer so that you're going to be able to see a little bit better. Whenever I say thick whisper white cardstock, it is an indication that I'm going to be using alcohol-based markers. Memento black ink is the ink that you're going to want to use because it is water-based, which means it will not bleed with your alcohol markers. Now, I did stamp 2 of these because I decided I needed 2 flowers for my belly band. I've got them already colored for you, but I want to talk you through this in case you're wondering how these alcohol-based markers work. So let me just cap this and push that off to the side. Now, the great thing, again, that we talked about is the coordination of Stampin' Up's products. Now, there's a brand new color called Bumblebee, and you're going to see it represented here. The Stampin' Blends markers that closely relates to it is Mango Melody. So they did not come out with an additional color in that Bumblebee shade because it's nearly identical. And I love that about them because they're not forcing you to buy products that are so close in color. In the combination, you're going to get both the light and the darker shade, and this is going to do all the work for you. Now, when you have small images like this, oftentimes blending can be challenging. So I want to give you a few tips about that, and I'm going to attempt to move you in just a little bit closer so you can see even better. Let's see if we can do that here. Okay, there we go. I like to start with the lightest color first. So that's going to be this one here. You're also going to see that it's dual-ended, which means there's a thick tip and a thin tip. Sorry if I was off camera. My ceiling fan went off, and it's 92 degrees here in Florida, and I was getting warm. So the thick and the thin. You choose depending on the size of the image you're coloring. Obviously, I'm going to go with the thinner end on this one. And I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do a couple petals to give you an idea. If you've ever used a marker, you can use these. So all you're going to do is you're just going to color in the lightest color first, which is what I prefer to do, just like you would any other marker. It is not important that you color the entire thing. In fact, if you leave some areas white, it just lends credence to highlighting. All right, you're going to see that those snap on, which is wonderful. And then we're going to come over to the darker shade. The lines right here, great cheat marks. This is going to give you an idea of where the shading should be. So I'm going to lay this darker shade right on top. You're also going to notice that it looks probably a little bit harsh to you, doesn't it? Now you have a couple choices here. While the alcohol evaporates from this marker surface, you can leave it like this if you like, or you can go back and you can blend these shades together. So let me show you what I mean. So here's the lighter one again. And then what I like to do is pull the light and the dark together. Now, right away, it's not going to look like much because the alcohol has to evaporate from the cardstock for this to become more of its true tone. But it's going to take away those harsh lines of the color. I want to talk you through what else I used. I used that beautiful bronze marker right here for the center. And again, I'm not going to color the whole thing. I'm just going to give you a really quick idea. And the brand new Just Jade, that's a new in color, is what I used for the leaves. All right, so you're going to see these are just slightly different than what I have already finished for you. And the magic of live TV, there we go. We've got two already finished. There was one thing I wanted to do on these. I wanted to actually add a little bit of shimmer here to the center. That was just, I love shimmer. I just love sparkle. So let me put that on top of here just in case I have a little bit of overage. And I'm using the Wink of Stella. Love this because if you like sparkle, you're going to love this because you don't need glitter and you don't need glue. It's all contained in here. So it has shimmer already in the tip, and this is a brand new marker, so it's going to be nice and juicy. So I'm adding that Wink of Stella here. I am not certain you're going to be able to appreciate this in the video, but I'll hold it up. It does have an alcohol base, just like the marker. What's going to happen is it's going to evaporate and leave that shimmer behind. Now, I also want to talk to you about this. There is oftentimes some pigmentation here picked up on your Wink of Stella. Take it on your scratch paper and rub that off. You want to make sure that that doesn't transfer to another project. And then just recap it. The proper way is to store this straight up and down, not laying on its side. I didn't know if you knew that or not, so I thought I'd share. Look at that. Can you see the shimmer in this? Ooh, isn't that pretty? Really creates a little bit of sparkle without being too much. All right, so let's set that aside. Before you join me, I took a piece of Whisper White cardstock and I took a greeting from that same stamp set where I got those sunflowers from. And I can't wait to share this with you. Let me zoom you out so you can get a better look at this. This is called Celebrate Sunflowers. It immediately caught my attention in the catalog when I saw it. It is beautiful, it's large, and it's bold, and there are some greetings in here. So this is where I got the small sunflower from. The best part about this is there are coordinating dies which die cut that flower for me. So there was no fussy cutting. Now you can buy these independently or you can purchase them as a bundle. And when you buy as a bundle, it's going to save you the 10%. Because quite frankly, who's going to want to cut those by hand, right? Wait until you see the other cards I made using this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this up. There's the words that say, know that you are loved. And I stamped those here. And this is the soft suede once again. So let me just close up this ink pad. And then what I did is I decided to use some dies for this. So I pulled out my layering ovals dies, another one of my favorites here in the studio. I love the cascading sizes of the ovals as well as the scallops. So I chose the smallest one here for this greeting and I die cut it, and that left me with this. And then I die cut a slightly larger one in the scallop, and this is the Just Jade that's going to coordinate with the paper as well as the Stampin' Blends. And that's going to allow me to create a beautiful layer here. So I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to add adhesive to the back side. And then we're going to layer this on top of that scallop. Now, I'm going to show you how this all comes together, really simple, and then make sure you hang around so you can see all these other samples. And I'm just looking to mirror this to leave a little bit of a border. Now let's talk about adhering this. Now there's two ways you can do this. You can pull this off and you can work right here, or you can leave it on here and just concentrate knowing that any adhesives or dimensionals got to fall on this small little area right here. Otherwise your card is going to be impeded by that belly band. Ask me how I know. So I'm going to take some dimensionals here. These are double-sided pieces of foam tape. And I'm going to position my greeting slightly off to the side. So I'm going to put one here and one here. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick pickup tool. Love this putty tip for those small pieces, sequins, and cardstock. And then this here is going to remove my paper backings. That's the paper piercing tool attachment. Makes it really, really easy for me. And then what we're going to do now is we are going to put this right on the belly band. We're going to hide where this comes together. So that's another reason why you're going to want something here that's a little bit wider than the belly band itself. So I'm going to tack that here. Now let's talk about these two beautiful sunflowers that were colored and then die cut. I decided I wanted mine to be a little bit offset. So I'm going to put one up here. And once you've got an idea where that placement's going to go, I'm going to go ahead and place my dimensional right here. And then I'm going to take off that paper backing as well. And let's go ahead and put this one here. So I'm kind of coming over my greeting just a little bit because I want it to look purposeful. And then this last one is going to come down here. Again, you don't want to impede on the greeting, but you're going to see that there's not a whole lot of room here to put that on. So you're going to be very strategic on where that dimensional is going to fall. So I'm going to place that right down here. We'll remove that paper backing once again. Can you see that shimmer from that Wink Stella? Is that not beautiful? Okay. And then you know me, if you've watched my videos, I love bling. So these are the brand new in color enamel dots. I've got a package here that's already open that I want to use. And the color coordination doesn't just stop with the paper and the ink. Remember, I mentioned to the accessories are color coordinated as well. So we've got some embellishments here. They're going to go beautifully on here. So I'm going to place one here at the top. I'm going to take one other and I'm going to place that one here. And then I'm going to place one more down here, I think by the greeting. I like to try to create a little bit of a triangle just to keep your eye moving. But isn't this pretty? Okay, so let me show you then. The belly band will slide off. All right. Mine's nice and tight because it's brand new. There we go. It's coming right off. And then, of course, your card opens up. But isn't this slick? Okay, now I never do a live without practicing. I know some of you are probably chucking, but I just don't. I always want to make sure that I know what I'm talking about before we go live. And it gives me an opportunity to make another card for you. Oftentimes it's identical, but today I decided I was going to switch this up a little bit. You want to see the other one? Now, this picture for this card is not going to be over on my website. I only did this for you guys during tonight's live and for the replay. The exact same suite of products, but do you see the difference? This is soft suede. This is the brand new cinnamon cider. This is an in color. The other thing I want to share with you about this stamp set, do you see this large sunflower here? It is right underneath this die. This die is exquisite. It's detailed. It die cuts beautifully, which is what I did to lay it over right over the top of that stamped image. This is also part of the dies. And all I did was change up the color concept here just a little bit using that exact same designer series paper. Now I have 6 other ideas for you. Are you ready? All right, so let me move this off to the side and let me bring those other ones in. Now these cards I'm going to share with you are actually all part of this month's card making class. Now, you probably are wondering, well, what's a card making class? Well, it's a way for you to stamp with me from home. It's an online tutorial class. I'm going to give you pictures, cutting dimensions, and a full length video for all 6 of these different cards so that you can stamp right along with me from home. I give it to you for free in exchange for a $50 product order using an exclusive card class host code. That's very, very important. Okay, so let's go through this and then I'll give you some more details if you want to join me. So here is that first card. Not only do you get multiple pictures of every card and the cutting dimensions, step-by-step instructions. So if you like to read, I've got you covered. But I've also got a full-length video. So you're going to stamp right along with me. I'm going to give you tons of coloring tips and cutting tips. You're going to actually love, love, love that. Isn't that pretty? So that's one of the 6. Here's that second one. And instead of actually stamping that sunflower, which is what I did on that alternate sample that I just shared with you a few minutes ago, I chose to die cut the actual solid piece of that sunflower for an overlay, as well as the leaves. And it's more of those gorgeous embellishments. You'll see that I use those here. Isn't this color pretty? So that's 2. Making a little bit more room here. Here is the third one. Again, all part of the dies and the bundle. You can't beat the stamp set for the greetings as well. Now, obviously, if you're going to want your cards to look exactly like this, I've got a whole list of supplies over on my website under my tab for online classes, card making class. Now, you might be looking at this going, blue sunflower? Well, we got to be creative, right? We're paper crafters. This doesn't have to be a sunflower. It can be any flower. So I picked up the yellow here, which is that mango melody with that beautiful paper, and created that card as well. So that's 4. Here's 5. Look at this. Isn't this fun? I want to show you something. This greeting is part of this greeting. My video is packed chock full of tips, more tips than you're probably going to see anywhere else. So you're going to get that also as part of this online class. And then here is the last one. But I've got a bonus for you on this card. As part of this online class tutorial, you are going to get this exact same card in all of the end colors. Here's a quick look at them. So this is all part of the tutorial. So I've got the cinnamon, I've got the jade, I've got the misty moonlight, and of course the bumblebee. So you are getting so many ideas, it's not even funny, just a ton of ideas. Just to give you a quick look at the tutorial, it is over 10 pages long, step-by-step instructions, pictures, cutting dimensions, the whole bit. Everything is here. I make it super easy for you to stamp right along with me from home. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this card making class. I'm going to turn the camera around. I would love to read which is your favorite. Leave me a comment below. Now, in order for you to get your free tutorial and the free video, you're going to need to use an exclusive card class host code. Now, some of you who have used to be watching me do my card class spiel are probably thinking it used to be a card kit. Well, I wanted to let you know that the demand had gotten so great that I was forced to make a change. Every single month, there were so many people that were missing out on the opportunity. So I thought, what can I do to make sure that everyone out there who wants these ideas can get them? So what I've done now is I've given you 6 ideas. I have to count 6 ideas versus 4 in a tutorial format that's very comprehensive. You're still going to get the video so you can stamp with me from home. Do not use the exclusive card class host code if your order is $150 or more. The reason is that Stampin' Up! Will also give you free Stampin' Rewards, which is free stamping dollars to use for other product. You'll still get my card class project tutorial and the video, but it's imperative that you let me know that that large order was intended for this. Otherwise, I have no way of knowing. If your order is $149.99 in product or less before tax and shipping, you have to use the exclusive card class host code. Very, very important. Now, all of my card class customers also receive an added bonus. They get invited to a private event right here on YouTube that's called Live with Lisa. It is a private link where I do several live demonstrations for them. They get an entire different bundle of tutorials, and I do product prize giveaways randomly. It's a great time. It's very, very casual, and we always have a lot of fun. I would love to have you join us for the Celebrate Sunflowers card class tutorial online feature with the tutorials and the video. Now, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be coming back live with you. And that is looking at my calendar, make sure I get this right. It is going to be on Monday, June 22nd. If you have enjoyed today's video, please do me a favor. Would you give it a thumbs up here on YouTube? It certainly helps. And would you share it and leave a comment? We'd love to hear from you. I'm looking over my notes too. Head over to lisastampstudio.com, click on classes, and there you'll find all the information for this online card class. I would love to have you join me. Thank you so much for being here. Megan, thank you for all of your hard work, and I look forward to being back with you on June 22nd. Have a great night.